Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Genshin Impact Cats. Oh, wait, that's not what we're doing today? That's not what we're doing today? Oh. Okay. Today we are going to be making a Genshin Impact character tier list. All of these opinions are my own personal opinions based on different characters, how I like them, how I like to play them, and are of course all my own opinion. Please do not take anything that I say about these characters to be some kind of end-all be-all of which characters are good and which characters are bad. And if any of you guys use this as justification to start wars in the comments, I mean, I guess I can't stop you, but like, it's just a video, guys. Calm down. Go, Kimmy. What you waiting for, girlie? What you waiting for? Why did she default to that face when her act ended? So, we have here a tier list. A very important tier list of very special tiers that I have created myself based on my own preferences for Genshin characters, because honestly, I don't really dislike a lot of characters in Genshin. There's only a handful that will probably get the the hate category. But to just quickly give a rundown of what everything means, S tier faves. These are characters that I am obsessed with. I love these characters. I probably have pictures of them on my walls because I'm that kind of nerd. I love everything about them. Means I love playing the character in the game, and I like the character as a character themselves. So I also like the character's role in the story, their personality, etc. I love them as characters only. That means I don't really like playing as the character, but I still like them as a character. I mean, there's tons of people who have characters in game that they don't really like playing, either because their playstyle just isn't one they're fond of, or because they're just it's just boring or difficult to them. But they still like the character. I love to play them only. That means that I'm not really fond of the character as a character, and I don't like their role in the story very much, but they're a character I like to play in the game. So they get their own tier above. They are okay. These are characters I don't have particularly strong feelings about. They don't really stick out. I don't play them very often. They are a character who exists, and that's okay. I don't even like playing as them. This is for characters I'm not terribly fond of, and not even their kit can save them from this category. I don't dislike these characters, but I also just don't like them. And then hate. These are characters I have a special hatred for in my soul for one reason or another. There's one character, I think, in the entire game who I technically are the only character I hate. But there are other characters who I just have reasons that I dislike them, and so those characters might also get put into here, but we'll see, Let's start some fights. So, as our first character, Baby Boy Aether, S tier fave. I have very strong feelings about how much I like the Traveler. His playstyle and kit aren't always fantastic, but when I can play him as a DPS, he's probably one of my favorite characters to play as a DPS. Man, I wish you could get Pyro Traveler early. Not being able to get him until you've completed the Archon quests of 5 nations is so painful. Lumen is going to be the only NPC I put on this tier list as the Abyss sibling, and I mean, obviously there's really only one option. She's not playable yet. I hope she'll be playable. It would be really cool if eventually you could play the Travelers together. I don't know if they'll ever actually do that, but like, it'd be cool. Albedo. I love everything about Albedo. His kit is pretty simple, and it really sucks that he's got dual scaling and his burst doesn't scale with his defense until you unlock constellations. Why would you do that? But I love Albedo as a character. He's cool, even if his model kind of makes me sad. Jean. Jean is okay. I don't dislike Jean. I don't have any strong feelings about Jean. I will say that playing her as the DPS just so you can yeet characters is extremely fun, and it is very satisfying to yeet enemies across the field. And of course, she's the best character to take when you're fighting the capybara because she can just kill it with fall damage forever. It's great. It's great. Sucrose. Yeah, I'm not crazy about Sucrose's personality. Her design is cute aside from the curse of the Genshin rat tail, but like, she's just shy, quiet girl, and I'm just not about it. Although I will say, I do wish the game leaned more heavily into her like weird sides of her personality. Like, Girl kept like a hilly churl chained in a corner of her office. Why don't we get more of that, Sucrose? Noelle! S tier fave. Noelle carried me through the beginning of Genshin Impact. When I first started playing, she was my main DPS. And I played main DPS Noelle all the way through to the end of the Liyue Archon quest. And after playing through the Liyue Archon quest and thinking to myself, wow, this game is really hard, I realized you can level your artifacts and your weapons and your talents. I unintentionally played Genshin on hard mode for like the first 2 whole versions. Anyway, having Noelle made that possible probably, because I don't know how I would have managed to get through the game otherwise. Dahlia! I love everything about Dahlia. Even though his kit is so stupid and jank, I do like that he is a shield character. It's something. And his surprise baptisms are really funny. Like, it's a funny kit. It's not really a great kit, but it's funny. And so he has at least something going for him that's kind of great. Plus, like, look at him. Look at him. Look at his everything. He's a twink who likes to get drunk with his god. What's there not to love? Lisa. Lisa's okay. I don't have strong feelings about Lisa. Maybe if she appeared later in the game, I would really, really like her. Klee. I only like Klee as a character. Her kit is... It suffers from early game Genshin in that they really thought you would be doing jank-ass shit like using the Traveler's platforms and like going up on Albedo's flower and throwing bombs down. And clearly they probably didn't expect you to do that for endgame content, but I don't think they were thinking about endgame content. Barbara. I actually like Barbara as a character. I don't like playing as Barbara or using her as your only healer. It's kind of awful. But she's cute. She does fall into the same category of catalyst character who does not have a projectile, so you can't really tell where she aims when she's attacking, and she just kind of like... She just grunts. She just grunts and poses. This is how Barbara fights. Eula, oh, this is where I'm gonna start getting some of the controversial opinions, but I don't like Eula very much. Okay. So in the beginning, Eula was a really weird character, right? Like, she had really strange personality quirks. She would get angry and threaten people all the time. It was kind of made it seem like girl had like no friends. I loved that. I loved that version of Eula. But off-screen character development happened, and now she's just nice. She's just kind of nice, and that's really the only thing we've seen her in. Like, she appeared in a summer event, and I would not be able to tell you a single thing she did during that summer event. And also, like, this isn't even a thing about physical. I just never had Eula, so I never really figured out how to play her. Even for like an event where you have to use the trial characters, whenever I have to use Eula or a Eula team, I can't complete it. There's one event I did where I got like S rank on everything except the one with Eula, and I couldn't even get all the rewards because she's so bad to play.
Vengeance will be mine.
Amber. I mean, Amber's okay. I like her as... Actually, I literally just said Amber's okay. Yeah, she's okay. I do like her as a character, but like, she's not a character I would be like, oh boy, Amber lore. Playstyle, her kit is, it's shit. It's shit. It is cool that she has a taunt, but like, why does she have to shoot? Oh my god, my voice is getting all crusty. But like, why does she have to shoot the thing in the foot? Why does it gotta be like that? Rosaria. Rosaria is I only really like to play Rosaria, so I actually like her design on some aspects. Like, I liked her original outfit. I liked her original outfit. But why is her face like that? Why is she so gray? Venti!
Psych!
I like everything about them. I think he's very close to being an S tier fave. I don't really know what it is. I really like Venti. I really, really like him. And maybe when he eventually gets a second story quest, he can move up to S tier faves with Noelle. Fischl! Okay, I'm lying. No, I'm lying again. I don't know. Fischl is so strange. You have to be like in the right mindset to like Fischl as a character. Like the summer event where we got to really go in depth with her, that was amazing. That actually is still my favorite summer event. Like, to this day. That event was great. Like, all of the little dungeons, everything being like themed around the characters' minds. Like, oh, that was so cool. And like, Fischl is fun in short bursts. When you have to sit through like 10 minutes official dialogue, and then the punchline is that Oz summarizes it for you in 2 seconds, the joke gets stale very quickly. And as for her playstyle, like, I know she's a really good sub-DPS, it's just kind of boring. It's summon Oz. You're done. Mika! Oh god, poor Mika. Poor Mika, he doesn't deserve this. He doesn't deserve this at all. Okay, I need to explain something to you. To anyone who plays Genshin Impact on another language, I'm sure you are fine with Mika. I'm sure you have no strong opinions about Mika. His English voice is horrible. It's not a bad voice actor. The voice actor is fine. It's just not a good character to be this character, you know? Like, he literally sounds like he should be shoved in a locker and given a swirly, and it's the most Poindexter-ass voice, and it's like the peak bad anime dubs from like the late 90s. That's the vibe his voice gives, and I can't stand it, dude. It's so bad.
P.S. If you're wondering who's tougher between me and the captain, well, I'm the Grand Master. There are 10 captains in the Knights of Favonius, but only one Grand Master. Ah ha 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 ha. His laugh, not mine.
He could have been cute, but there's just too many things that just make me dislike even seeing him on screen. Diona. Unfortunately, Diona has to sit here. Hold on. Her outfit is weirdly blending in with Amber's bow, and it's kind of creeping me out. Hold on, let me just, you get over there. There we go. Oh no, it's doing it with Rosaria. I like Diona's design. I love her kit. I fucking suffered in like 3 different videos to try to get Diona. I obviously like Diona, but her personality is so weird. Like, so she's like a little girl, and she has a father who's an alcoholic who like neglects her, and she's like cursed. It's a curse. Don't tell me this is a blessing. She is cursed to only be able to make the most delicious drinks in the world, which one could argue probably is one of the reasons her father drinks as much as he does, because his daughter is blessed with the alcohol hands. And it's just weird. Mona. I only really like Mona as a character. She's fantastic. Her voice actress is actually one of my favorites in the game. She's got such a nice, pleasing voice to listen to. But when it comes to her kit and her playstyle, she was actually the first 5-star I got on when I first started playing Genshin. She came home on Noelle's banner, of all things. So I got her right away. But it immediately made me dislike her because, you know, you run a lot in early game. And until they fixed the new running animations for her and Ayaka, it was pain to try to explore the overworld using just her. Kaya. I don't know. I feel like he's somewhere in between here, but I don't really love things about Kaya, so I think he's gotta go down. He's okay. Kaya is okay. D-Luke. Oh, he goes up here. I want to like D-Luke, but I just can't get over how ugly his model is, dude. It's so bad. The Dark Knight hero stuff was extremely funny. He has a really cool backstory, and none of it is in the game. He is the character who probably suffers the most of having his backstory just be his backstory. Yes, Rompo. Cat's meowing over my shoulder. Aside from maybe Kale, but at least her backstory does eventually come into play in the plot, even if she gets kind of sidelined by an NPC in the main Archon quest. Oh, hello, Rompo. So you've joined me on the desk. Razor. Unfortunately, Razor is going to join Eula in that. I don't even like playing as him. I know he was one of the last 4-stars I ever got. Yeah, I just never got him. I think I actually bought him from the shop when I got him the first time. But he suffers from Eula in that he is a physical DPS, and physical is just not great. It's just not fun to play. Bennett! Okay. This is like a recency biased, but like, I have very strong feelings about Bennett now. Why is he so mad? Like, all the other characters look pretty normal. Why is he so angry in his portrait, buddy? Are you like, okay? He's mad. He's mad. But yeah, come on, he's Bennett. He is the strongest buffer in the game to this date. Like, it's crazy that he's still as good as he is. And I really liked his story. I still cry every freaking time I rewatch that cutscene, dude. When did Aloy get in here? I guess Aloy's okay. Moving on to Liyue, we have Ningguang. Oh, poor Ningguang. She doesn't really deserve to be here, but she's just not interesting. One of my least favorite cinematics in the game is the one describing Ningguang and her paper snow. She definitely suffers the most from being an early game character, and I agree that she should have been a 5-star with a more powerful kit. Beidou! I only really like Beidou as a character. I don't know if that's a hot take. Her playstyle just isn't for me. I do think the counter playstyle had so much potential to be really cool if they had actually built more into it. Gaming! I love Gaming! He's a good boy. And his design is really cute. He does kind of give, a Beyblade protagonist, but it's fine. It's fine. He's cute. I will say a lot of him is definitely carried by his voice actor though. Like a very cute voice. Very cute. Yoonjin! Yeah, I only like Yoonjin as a character. Yoonjin, I like her as a character. I love her design, but trying to actually use her for what she's intended to do is always pretty underwhelming. Keqing! Yeah, you guys already know my opinions on Keqing. Her new voice actor is not helping her case whatsoever. She had potential. When she was first introduced in the game as being someone who seemed almost atheistic compared to everyone else, I thought that's really interesting. You could argue, I guess, that her experiences during the Liyue Archon quest maybe changed her way of thinking, and that would be a really interesting way of looking at it. I just kind of wish the game actually portrayed that as a possibility. Xiangling! Oh, this is a tricky one. Xiangling's okay. I am like the embodiment of the video of I'm so tired of Xiangling. Like you guys know the copy pasta. You all know it. When I first got her, she was the first Pyro character I got who wasn't Amber, and I was really excited because I was like, finally, a Pyro character. I get like flashbacks to being in Dragonspine, and my characters are dying, and I don't want to switch in Amber, and frickin' Guoba won't aim at the fucking thing to actually save us all. Chanyun! Okay, this is my deep dark secret. Chanyun is S tier. I can't even explain why. I just love this little fucker. Actually, no, I'll explain why, because you know who's gonna go with him? His boyfriend! Aww. Yeah, I have very strong feelings about the I was about to say the Liyue queers, but that sounds a little heavy-handed. I mean, I just really like the dynamic of these two. It's fun. It's very anime. You have the straight-laced, serious, straight man, Chanyun, and the little fucker with the weird hairstyle who likes to pick on him, Shincho. And every time they're on screen together, they're really cute and funny. And I just love them a lot. They're both so goofy and And Shincho, he's a little shit. I really love him. I love that he has really defined flaws that are really goofy. Like the fact that he's a writer, but his handwriting is illegible. It's such a cute little trait. And not a lot of characters get their main core personality trait and then something else cute and silly to the side. A lot of characters are simpler. Instead, they just get their main thing. Like Noelle is admittedly pretty plain for a character. She's nice. Nice to a fault, but she's nice. And even Chanyun, it's like he's got his exorcism things, and then he's got his yang energy, which we never actually got to see in action until that recent poetry event. Recent, oh god, that was a year ago now, wasn't it? Oh god, the passage of time. I will say the only thing about these two is, man, the fact that when you go to explore the Chaoying area, and Shincho is name dropped by everyone there, and then he doesn't appear. What the fuck was that all about? Are we ever gonna get a follow-up? That's where the Guhua are, and Guhua Kid doesn't appear? What's the point? Cloud Retainer! I love everything about Cloud Retainer. Her kit is so cool, man. She allows any character to be a good DPS as long as they can infuse something while they plunge attack. And that's kind of fantastic. I think I mentioned before one of my favorite Goofy teams is Lynette, C6 Lynette plunge attack DPS. And it's only possible because of Chanyun, and it's great. And also Cloud Retainer was always one of my favorite NPCs, dude. She's got the big mom energy. She's just this angry bird. I do wish she still appeared in her bird form at least sometimes. We really only see her as Chanyun now, which is fine. I like her design a lot, even if the weird thing between her tits looks really strange. Bruh. But she's great. I love her. And her red glasses just bring me so much joy. Lanyan. She's okay. She unfortunately falls into a category of Genshin character whose personality is she's nice. That's it. That's all she's got going for her. And while her kit is good, I have C1, so I don't like using her because I feel like she's not usable. So she's okay for now. Baizhu! I like Baizhu as a character, and I like his little snake friend. He's another missed opportunity with the Chaoying area, dude. Like, Changsheng gets mentioned and name-dropped and referenced so many times in Chenyu Vale in the story quest that's there, and you never talk to Baizhu. You don't address Baizhu. You don't mention Changsheng. You don't even tell the NPCs there about Changsheng. Like, I don't know, it's so weird, dude, that they would make an entire area, base so much lore around these specific characters, and then not do anything with them. Chi-Chi. Maybe this is a weird one. I actually like playing Chi-Chi. Like, I know people call her the worst character in the game, but like, I've used her on plenty of teams that just needed a healer, and I like her. I like playing healers. I'm a Kokomi main, for crying out loud. But her actual in-personality in the game is just, She falls into the same category as like sleepy characters, where she just talks like this. And it's really annoying to have to listen to. Like this. It's awful. It's so painful to have to sit through. And it doesn't help that like in the early game, I don't know what was up, but like her voice actor had like a low quality microphone or something. So when she spoke, it's hard to explain. It's like you could hear that she was in a room, you know? She didn't sound like the character. She sounded like a person in a recording booth talking into a microphone. Child, why are you here? Oh, child. I want to love you, baby boy. His skill cooldown isn't that bad. It seems really terrible, but only if you're just like letting it run out forever. But it's not that bad. But like, as a character, I fucking love Child, dude. He's so interesting. Like, when we first meet Child, the first thing he tells us is that he is not a good person. He is a bad guy, and he is very open about his Fatui affiliation. There's really no point where the Traveler is like, oh boy, best buddy Child, let's go on adventures. Like, no, he's kind of just always like, ugh, this fucker again. But I kind of like that, right? Like, Child doesn't seem to mind it. And the fact that he's so battle horny is just extremely funny to me. He's just like, oh, it's battle time. Like, oh my god, calm down, dude. Keep it in your pants. Jongus Legus. This is a hard one. I feel like he's got to sit here. Although, no. He's gonna sit here. I will say, obviously, Zhongli is Genshin Impact on easy mode. As long as you have Zhongli's shield, you have it reasonably built, the game is pretty easy. There's not a lot the game can do to you. I actually don't like that. Like, it's such a little thing, but the fact that you have to hold his skill to summon the shield, it just bothers me. I don't like it. And I don't like gameplay where you're just gonna kind of stop for a moment. Like, you'll probably see that with some other characters on this list. But I do like him as a character. Like, his personality as like the weird old man is just kind of fantastic. I love him. Xinyan! Okay, maybe a hot take, but fucking love Xinyan, dude. She was actually my main for a little while. I love her design, and I don't mind her jank-ass kit. Asterisk, as long as you don't use her as a DPS. She is actually a pretty good support if you give her enough energy so she can proc her burst often enough. And if you have her Constellation 2, her burst will always crit. So you can just load that baby girl up with as much crit damage as possible and just let her nuke the shit out of everything. And honestly, my favorite team with her was using her with Mualani because she applied Pyro at a pretty consistent and fairly low rate, and she was a shield character. Ganyu. She's one of those issues that Genshin occasionally has with their characters where the female character's personality type is workaholic. There's a lot of characters who fall into that. But with Ganyu, I don't like her playstyle where she aims, but I love using her burst. I've never wanted to waste the Primo Gems to get her for the sake of just using her for her burst, but like, she's fun. Xiao! I love everything about Xiao. He's a good boy. He's just so edgy and try hard, but my favorite thing about Xiao is the subtle character development he gets with the Traveler over the course of the game. Like, if you started playing Genshin Impact this year, you could probably still appreciate Xiao as a character, but if you haven't played through the previous Lantern Rites and you haven't seen the way he goes from, I don't associate with humans, to, I want to let off a Xiao lantern with you, like, it's so sweet, and I love how it's good. It's every year he gets a little bit closer and a little more open, and it's very sweet. Oh, my heart is always warmed by Xiao. Hu Tao! is okay. I only have Hu Tao on my main account because I wanted Toma. I've tried to build Hu Tao, and in recent times I bought her skin, and cause reasons. I tried to actually rebuild her and start playing as her, and I couldn't help but think the entire time, why am I playing her in Arlecchino? Shenhe! I really like Shenhe. I feel like she gets lumped into like waifu, traveler, dating sim bait a little bit too much, but it's actually really sweet how she sees the traveler as one of her first friends, and that like we've slowly helped her open up. But her design is really pretty. I love her whack eyes, and the cutscene of Yunjin singing about her backstory is actually my favorite cutscene in the game. Like, hands down. Best in the game. Amazing. Ugh. And of course, we can't forget the fact that her trailer gave us Chongus content. A+. Yelan is okay. This is probably I got some hot takes. Yelan is just better Shinsho with tits. Like, I know that makes her a really good character, but I don't know, I just don't like playing her as much. But I don't like her character that much. She's very pretty. Very pretty lady. But I'm so uninterested in her character, she's probably the first time I've ever skipped a story content in the game. I didn't play through her quest on any of my accounts. Yao Yao. Okay, Yao Yao is a character whose personality is she's nice. But like, I like her anyway. She's really cute. I love her design a lot, and her friendship with Chi-Chi is pure and sweet. How can you not love that? Yanfei. Yeah, Yanfei she was actually my main for a long time. Like, she's a Catalyst character who throws projectiles. I really like her playstyle. Her personality is really boring. She's one of the few characters that if I have her like on the screen when she starts saying her idol, oh, what a lovely day for reciting some laws, and then she starts going off, I die inside every time. And I have to immediately switch characters because no, stop it. Alright, we have reached Inazuma, starting off with I love everything about Kazuha. He's Canadian Aether. What can you not love? He has one of the most fun kits in the game, the Kazuha jumps, but like his burst is so pretty, he's so strong, he buffs the shit out of your characters, and also like, I don't care if we've probably have to seen his backstory like 18 times, I love it, it's so cool. Ayaka. I only really like Ayaka as a character. She falls into the category of when you're playing her at her best, there's a lot of stopping and starting, because you have to use her charged attacks if you want to get the full scale of her best damage. But Ayaka as a character, like, I like her a lot. She's sweet, she's cute, girl is all forehead, and like, as a girl with the Widow's Peak, yeah, I relate to that. I relate to that, sweetie. Oh, don't unplug my computer while I'm recording. They're climbing under my desk and being a creature. Yoimiya. This one's probably a weird one. Yoimiya is just, I think I'm just biased because of when she appears in the story. I'm just kind of done with Genki girls and I just want to get to the meat. And then instead you have to spend some time playing with Yoimiya and I'm just like, I do like playing as her though. Like, her kit is really fun and I do like her animations a lot with all the flipping around. And just in general, like, characters who throw projectiles are fun to me, so I like her for that. Sayu. Poor baby. She's very close to hate because Sayu falls into the category of sleepy characters who I can't stand their voices, dude. It's so annoying. Sayu isn't as bad because she's not chronically sleepy, and she has her other thing where she complains about being short, but she's just not that fun to play. She's like, we needed an Inazuma 4-star. Here she is.
The almighty Raiden Shogun!
I mean, obviously. Is every single Archon gonna be up here? Possibly. And the Raiden Shogun she's just fantastic. Dude, no one in this game has as much aura as the Raiden Shogun does. But just, she's so good. And when you fight with her and she pulls out her sword and torn to oblivion and just, And like, I like that she can be used as both a strong main DPS and as a support. Like, do you want to know the funniest team you can do? Raiden Shogun and Kirara. Everything around you slowly dies. It's extremely funny. There's like sirens outside right now. What's happening? Speaking of Kirara, she's gonna be the first one to make this tier list stretch, but I love everything about Kirara. She is a cat. She's got cat feet. She's so cute. She meows. Until you get later constellations, she's not fantastic support, But like her shield is pretty bulky, like it's nice. Kujo Sara. I want to like Kujo Sara, but they just kind of ran out of things to do with her after the war in Inazuma ended. Her design is really cool and I like her personality, but actually playing as her, like, I didn't get the Raiden Shogun until pretty late. Playing her with Sara was never something I ever got used to, so my Sara never got built. Kokomi, obviously hate. I mean, who likes Kokomi? She can't even crit. Yeah, no, baby girl's going up here. No, you go there. Top tier, best girl, Kokomi! I can't even really explain it, because like, if I'm being honest with myself, Kokomi's role in the Archon quest is kind of bad. She's posed as this amazing strategist, and yet all we see is her making bad decisions that result in them getting losses and people dying. It's like, girl, what were you doing? It's a shame, but I will say, despite that, I still really like Kokomi. Her voice is one of my favorites in the game, even if it unfortunately fell to the victim of becoming squeakier in her next appearance. She's so cute. Her design is adorable. It's got the pinks and the colors, and she looks like she's from Watatsumi Island. Like, you can compare her to the aesthetics of the island and it's perfect. Her gameplay style is of course fun, and I think on some level I just got like emotionally invested in Kokomi because of how much people were shitting on her when she first came out, so I really like Kokomi. I still like Kokomi. The only reason I have a Scoffier on my main account is because I wanted her for Kokomi. Why am I like this? I just don't know. It's Thomas! I love everything about Thomas. I do know his name is Toma, don't at me, but calling him Thomas is really funny because it's wrong. He's nice. He is a character whose personality is he's nice, but at the same time he's got that like kind of hidden dark side to him where it's like, oh, what you doing with the Kamisato clan? Doing some sneaky stuff on the side, buddy boy. And also he like asks you to marry him in his hangout. And that's pretty great. Ito gets to join Thomas. Ito's playstyle is really fun. You just wallop everything with a giant club and it's fantastic. For all that they definitely have exhausted him as the event Archon, like, he's still great. He's goofy, he's silly. 95% of that is all Max Middleton's amazing work as his voice actor, but like, that's still all Ito, baby. He's fantastic. I love him. Goro is okay. I know, I think with Goro, I always just get stuck on them just being like, oh yeah, he's got some of that dog in him, but like, what does that mean? He's not a yokai, and he's not like Catslian like Diona is. There's no word for what he is. He just has dog blood. What did his ancestors do with the dog? Yaimiko, S tier fave. Although I've been kind of torn on this because, I mean, I literally have Yaimiko sitting on my desk with me as I am talking. She was one of the first characters I ever triple crowned, and to this day, one of my favorite teams to play her in is a Hyper Bloom team. And I have a picture of her on my wall for fuck's sake, but I don't know what it is. I think it's just because I don't play her anymore. Maybe that'll change with Nod-krai. I kind of hope it changes and that we get a character that Yaimiko could excel with. She's still a very dear character to me. She is the pink fox lady. And just, oh, I love Yaimiko. Ayato! He got introduced way too late in the Inazuma Archon quest, and that's just kind of a shame because it made it seem like he wasn't doing anything. Because everything he did was off screen and it kind of felt retconned in. You gotta actually show that. You can't just tell us that that's a thing that happened in like an optional to watch trailer on YouTube, you know? I do like his personality. His design is really cool. They don't do anything with him though. And honestly, all we really want to see is him being gay with Toma, and they don't even give us that, you know? Bare minimum. Kuki Shinobu. I kind of feel bad about this one. I want to like Kuki Shinobu. Maybe if I play her hangout, I would like her more. As it is, the fact that she's fucking sirens again, dude. The fact that she's just like Ito's lackey. I don't know, I feel like if they portrayed their relationship a little bit differently, if you know what I mean, I would probably like her a little bit more. As is, I just like playing her. I do like playing her a lot though. She is probably my favorite off-field healer to use. If I ever need a character who's off-field healing with like a little bit of elemental application, she's the one I will probably always default to. Mizuki, Yume Mizuki. Oh, where do I put her? I actually feel really bad about putting her here. I hate playing as Mizuki so much, dude. I was so excited when I saw her design, and then I saw what she does, and she's like an on-field swirl DPS who you can't even normal attack as. You just kind of float. Like, The fuck is that all about? Like, I don't think she needs to look like a therapist, whatever that would look like. I do think it's a little weird that she looks like a waitress. Why wouldn't they just give us a waitress character? We don't have any food service characters aside from Shang Ling. The closest thing we have to a waitress now is fucking Shenhe. Like, get out of here with that. Characters are starting to slowly fall off screen. Hazo! He's down here. Unfortunately has to go here. Okay, when Hazo was teased, I was so excited because my favorite character from Bungo Stray Dogs is Rampo, the eccentric detective character. Hazo is teased as an eccentric detective, and then they just kind of made him a cop instead. What? Why would they do that? The Sango Detective Agency is right there. They could have let him keep doing that. Instead, they found a story explanation for him to become a cop. I'm not going to try to get political here. I just don't really think he's that interesting when he's just like, he's a cop. That's his personality. And I don't know, they didn't really do enough with him. He just doesn't appear enough in as many interesting ways to really develop any kind of strong feelings about him one way or the other. However, his One Punch Man style of gameplay is really fun. He's one of the first characters who I basically crowned his skill as soon as I got him. And like, I don't play him anymore, but I really liked playing him when I had him. All right, moving on to Sumeru, although I'm gonna have to actually start scrolling here to actually be able to see the characters. Tighnari. This one's a little tricky, but I think I actually had to put him in I love everything about him. Like, Tighnari is pretty great. His playstyle is really fun. He was one of the first times I actually really liked the charged attack playstyle because his charged attack arrows like home in on enemies, so you don't have to worry about having really bad aim, which I do. I play on controller. And his personality is really sassy, and I just think it's really fun. Kale. Yeah, I'm not super crazy about Kale's playstyle. I think I've already vented plenty of times about the fact that her burst just has very poor uptime. I do love her, but I do think it's kind of a shame that instead of, for instance, having Kale be the character who has Elazar, who almost dies during the Archon quest, we get Dunyarzad, who, don't get me wrong, Dunyarzad is a top tier NPC, love her, but like, imagine how much more impactful it would have been if instead that person had been Kale. It's just kind of a shame that her entire backstory is relegated to the comic that is not completely translated officially anywhere. Oh boy, here we go. Least favorite character in the game. Fucking Dory, dude. She is the worst character in Genshin Impact. The worst character in any game I think I've ever played. Okay, let me start from the beginning. Obviously, the very basic reason for disliking Dory is she's just a dick. She is a money-grubbing little fucker who is constantly trying to steal as much money from everyone around her as possible in any way she possibly can, despite being supposedly the richest person in Teyvat. And they try to justify it with her backstory of being like, oh, her sister couldn't pay for medication, and so she wanted to make sure she would never be without Mora. Wouldn't that be the backstory for someone who was a philanthropist? No, she's a little money grubber. To be honest, I think that backstory is fake. I think her PR team wrote that for her because we learn from Al-Haytham that healthcare in Sumeru is free. This ain't the US of A. She has no reason for being the way she is. Her playstyle is shit. She's like Bargain Bin Raiden Shogun. It's terrible. She can give you energy, but like a Favonius weapon can also give you energy. She can heal, but like not well. And her fucking little genie thing, like, dude, after the racist bottle in the desert, no other genie can top that one, okay? I hate every time she's on screen. Like, her voice isn't terrible. And I've heard people say like, oh, well, if you play her in Japanese, her Japanese voice actress is good. Yeah, I used to think that too. And then I played Nahida's birthday event in Japanese.
いかがかしらタイプの依頼は手間がかかりますの
What the fuck was that? If not for the fact that it would stretch this tier list more than it already is, there would be a Dory tier. Anyway, Sino is in the running for the worst kit in the game. Like, okay, he's got potential, but he is essentially like a quadruple scaling DPS who wants crit rate, crit damage, energy recharge and elemental mastery to do damage. On top of the fact that his burst lasts so long that the only teammate who can possibly apply enough dendro for him to keep getting dendro reactions is Nahida. I don't know, he just feels bad to play, and it sucks because I actually do love the concept of like he uses his burst and you have this little mini game you have to do in order to apply his skill over and over again. That's cool. If you switched it, the thing that they've basically done with all of the characters who have special bursts since then, like he'd be so much better. But as a character, he's hilarious. Like, I love Cyno so much. He's cringe in the best ways. I feel like this video is going to be reasons Snarfle doesn't stream because my voice is going to get progressively crustier the more I talk. Also, you may have noticed I've just completely, whoa. What was that? Hello? Oh God. You may have noticed I've just completely cut off like the top of the screen at this point. I know that not a lot of Sumeru characters are gonna make the cut for the very top tier, so it's fine. Sethos. He's okay. The content he appears in is A+, don't get me wrong, but he just doesn't have that much of a presence in the game, and it's kind of a shame because he seems really cool. Like, I love his design so much, and his eyes, especially like with the big eyebrows, are super striking. Like, I love it. He feels like they had this character who was probably originally conceptualized as an NPC, realized they were too cool, and so they made him a playable character. But yeah, as for his playstyle, I've never had good track records with enjoying Electro DPS characters, so unfortunately Sethos kind of falls into that same regard. Candace is okay. She's actually, I'm so torn because she's another character who I feel like I would have liked a lot more if they did more with her, but they just didn't. Oh, this is where I'm gonna get some hate, huh? No, I'm not a Niyue fan. Her personality is she's nice, and she likes dancing. She has the worst story quest in the game, and I feel like I'm not the only person who got cock-blocked by accidentally starting her story quest during the Archon quest and not realizing you needed to finish her story quest to keep doing the Archon quest. Having that happen for any character will sour me on them. Like, you could argue the exact same thing happened with Yoimiya. And even Ayaka. I didn't like Ayaka originally because I was forced to do their story quest. I'm a little nervous that it sounds like that's how Genshin is going to start doing things moving forward in Nod-krai, but we'll see how that shakes out. Nahida! I gotta scroll back up for this one because baby girl, I love everything about Nahida. I think what I like most about Nahida is how she's not what you expected. Like, most people thought Archon of Wisdom and would expect a wizened old woman or something like that. But no, the fact that she's a child actually kind of fits, because who is more eager to learn about the world than a child? I love her skill letting you like listen to the thoughts of the people of Sumeru, and I will admit my bigger bias is gonna come up soon because her relationship with another character is actually one of my favorite things about her. But first, we need to talk about Layla. I almost feel like it's wrong putting her in this tier because I love Layla's design. I love her kit. If I have to pick a shield character for something, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna pick Layla over anyone else, even Zhongli, but goddamn, dude, the sleepy voice. Layla is the worst example of it. I just can't get over the really slow and kind of pitchy voice. She's really tired and just wants you to know she's really exhausted. I hate it. When she first appeared in an event in like the fungus one with Yaimiko where we were playing Pokemon, I button mashed through all her dialogue. I could not with it, dude. It's so bad. And it sucks because when she's her sleepwalking self, I love her voice. And now we're here to a very important baby girl. I love Wanderer and Scaramochi, and he has probably the best character development in the game, in my opinion. He literally goes from fucking supervillain to like, you can share your name with him and he'll just accept it. Like, that's so good, dude. I love him so much. He is like, he wants to aura farm like his mommy, and so he's trying his best, and he just comes off as this like angsty little brat who you kind of want to trip and make him fall in the mud, and it's great. He's got his big stupid hat, but above all, my favorite thing with him is that first off, he's got mommy issues. So what Archon does he end up bonding with? The child Archon, Nahida, who, let's be real here, she is his mom now. Like, she trusts him even though she acknowledges that he's, you know, he was evil. He was a bad person. He did bad things, and maybe he can never do anything to really make up for that. But he has the freedom to choose his fate and how his life will go from here for himself. And when we get to Sumeru, dude, I'm gonna be just all over this fucker. Playing as him can be kind of hit and miss. I really liked it when I first got him because, like, what the fuck? He floats in the air, he shoots projectiles, he's got a little extra dippy dash he can do. His design is great, his story is great, and I'm, for one, am very excited to see what role he plays in Adurin's story moving forward. Like, baby girl. As much as I call every single character baby girl, he is the OG baby girl. Farazan. Yeah. But she's a character that, like, I don't have very strong feelings about, so, like, I would probably say I don't love everything about her, but I definitely like everything about her. And while her backstory is kind of weird, the fact that she insists on everyone calling her Madame Farazan is really funny. And, like, I mean, she's Hatsune Miku, guys. She's Hatsune Miku in Genshin Impact. What's not to love? Okay, are you guys ready for the hottest take of this video? Alhaitham's okay. I don't know what it is. He's just kind of blah. Like, the way how he's funny in the quest is very subtle, or how he seems to be intent on improving Paimon's education with every single birthday letter he sends, which is really funny. The whole feeble scholar, but he's like fucking ripped. Like, I don't know. There's things I like about him, and his playstyle is really fun, but I don't know. Something about his personality just doesn't do it for me, and I'm not sure why. One hot take after another. Dia, I love everything about Dia. I like Dia's kit. Now, I know what you're thinking, but like, okay, but her skill, the stagger resistance doesn't last the entire duration, and her burst, why is her burst like that? Why does it do that? Why does it stop when you jump? Listen, people who didn't like Dia's kit wanted her to be a DPS. That's kind of where it stops and ends. She is not a DPS. She is not meant to be a DPS. For whatever reason, they gave her burst DPS-like qualities and clearly dropped the ball in what they could have done instead, but they didn't. But if you use her as just a support, she's perfectly fine. And her design, her role in the story, her everything else is fantastic. And I'm just saying, if I can't figure out how to solve that totem puzzle using a different character and have to pull Kuching, I may cry, because it means I can't pick Dia. I love Dia. She is my wife. Oh, no, actually, sorry. She's Junior Zelt's wife. Kaveh! Kaveh is a weird character in that his kit is very strange. He's like bargain bin Nilou. I will say, it is really satisfying to make all of the blooms explode. It's just, even if you explode like 30 blooms around him, only a handful of them can actually do damage. His design is top tier though. Whoever lovingly designed this man needs like a medal. They're fantastic. And let's be real, his weird gay marriage relationship with Alhaitham is just kind of funny. I can understand why people wouldn't ship it, but I do have to ask, if you think it's not supposed to be implied, I don't think there's any help there. I don't think there's any helping you, dude. Your media literacy needs some assistance. All right, it's time for my favorite nation in the game, starting off with probably one of my favorite characters in the game, Best Boy, the Great Magician Lyney, who immediately gets bumped up to the top of S-tier faves. If I had a separate tier for the tier above S-tier faves, Kokomi and Lyney would probably be the only two characters in it. I love Lyney. He is everything I love in a character. He is flirtatious, he is goofy, he is fun and dynamic, he is a showman, he is ridiculous, he dresses like a little French hooker. His little shorts and the garters I just really like femboys, okay? Don't at me, okay? Literally the only way he would be even more perfect is if he was also an actual cat. Unfortunately, the furthest we can go is that he has cat blood. Like, what in their past, what ancestor did they have that caused them to have cat features? Especially knowing that Fontainians come from like Oceanids? Like, what crossbreed happened there? Something occurred. But Lyney is great. I love him. I love the darker side to him too. The fact that he has that darker side, that like the weight of the expectations of the House of the Hearth and Arlecchino resting on his little tiny baby-ass shoulders.
Baby man, little baby man.
The fact that he gets accused of fucking murder in his Archon quest. Dude, I'm not going to apologize for the person I'm going to become when we get to the point of the Archon quest where we get to meet Lenny. That said, his sister is also very high up there. She is also a character I love very much. She's the character that, you know, would be like the character whose voice actor whispers. Like that's her character archetype. And if you watch a lot of anime, you know exactly what kind of character archetype is. I don't like her voice actor in the Japanese version. Her voice in the English version is much better. She doesn't have that quiet, mousy feel. Instead, she just kind of sounds like she's bored out of her mind most of the time. And it's really cute. Like, she's just like, seems brother's saying some strange things again. It's really worrying. Her design is also very good. It would be so easy to completely sexualize her design, but instead, like, they really didn't. Like, she's still got the titty window because, you know, she's still a gacha game character, and Genshin loves its exposed back. But aside from that, she is almost completely covered head to toe. Lenny is the one they sexualized, which is extremely funny to me, and also probably my favorite thing about the duo. And of course, getting into their kits, Lenny has a charged attack playstyle, but his actual charge attacks aren't usually the core of his kit. The core of his kit is when little cats in the hats explode. So he's another one where you can play a charged attack character without having the best aim. And then Lynette, until you get her to C6, isn't really my favorite, but at C6, she's one of my favorite Animo DPS characters just because I really like her animations. I know, I like her. I like Lynette a lot. Fremine actually gets to join his sister up here. I like Fremine, like, he's a sweetheart. I do feel like I wouldn't like Fremine as much if I hadn't played through the event that he had that starred him. That event should have been permanent. He kind of joins Albedo in Event Jail, where like his best lore is locked to an event. If you haven't played it, dude, look it up on YouTube. It's one of the other Genshin events that have made me sob. As for his playstyle, yes, he is a physical DPS, but I just really think his playstyle is fun. Like, it's really satisfying to like build up the damage and then just do just a whole bunch of damage all at once. And also he's a good boy. They're good boys. Nouvelette. Dude, maybe this is a hot take. I am probably in the minority maybe in people who really don't like Nouvelette's playstyle, and I think a big part of that is because I play on controller, where moving the camera takes 13 years. And he moves so slowly. I'm sure there's some kind of setting I could do on my controls to make it move a little faster. The best thing in the game. But other than that, I do love Nouvelette as a character a lot. He was like a standout character for me in Fontaine because I didn't expect to like him that much. I was just like, oh, he's the pretty boy, tall man character that everyone is gonna ship with the other pretty boy, tall man character. And, well, yes, but also no. His emotion, dude, the emotional climax of the Fontaine Archon quest. For all that I do have some criticisms in the Fontaine Archon quest, fucking how did this place flood? What did it look like from the outside? What the fuck happened? The actual climax of him forgiving all of the people, the performance of a lifetime put on by his voice actor, like, Jesus Christ. Like, I will say, probably that's the Archon quest that made me think when I do a playthrough of Genshin Impact and I record it for YouTube, I am going to include the entire cutscene because I want to be able to remember it forever. And I want to make sure there's a place I can go and just know that this is where I go if I want to rewatch and relive this moment, because that's what that scene was to me. Get a little emotional about Fontaine, guys. Wriothesley! Oh, I feel kind of bad about this one. I do really like Wriothesley. I just feel like he's a missed opportunity in the game. The entire section of the Fortress of Meropide is so badly written compared to the rest of Fontaine. Like, I love that his backstory has these really cool parallels to Lenny and Lynette. Sure would be nice if the game acknowledged that his backstory has really cool parallels to Lenny and Lynette and let him actually interact with them in a way that wasn't just, haha, Fatui bad, shoot them lolly. He actually is, like, probably one of my favorite DPS characters, like definitely my favorite cryo DPS for sure. If he wasn't as nice, I think he would have been a lot more interesting. And I really just think the existence of the Fortress of Meripede feels like it's from an earlier draft of Fontaine that they realized they couldn't get rid of. Seriously, play the part where you're in the Fortress of Meripede in the Archon quest, and then play the Caterpillar World quest. The contrast of what that place feels like between those two quests is insane. Escoffier, she's okay. Her design, like, the only thing I really like about her design, dude, is the fucking texture on her tights. Like, what the fuck? What is that technology? They're amazing for no reason. Her actual gameplay is like, it actually does feel a little satisfying to play. I never actually played her story quest because I didn't care. Like, that sounds really mean. Like, I just didn't care. Plus, I'm gonna be real. Voices do a lot for a character. The voice of Mika is the only reason he is down there and not I love them as a character. Her voice actor's accent comes out in really weird ways, and when you hear it, it's unpleasant to hear. And I just wish they would just let her talk with her natural accent. I don't think it would be that weird to have a few characters who speak with an accent. I think she could have been a nice one to have them start them off with. Farina! A baby girl goes all at the top of I love everything about them. She is very close to S tier fave. I'm just not obsessed with her because I think her story quest was kind of mid. Other than the cutscene. The cutscene was very good, and unfortunately for copyright reasons, I actually don't think I can ever show that one completely in a YouTube channel, so that kind of sucks. Oh my god, I was fucking sobbing at her backstory, dude. Her outfit is heavily inspired by Oji fashion in Japanese Lolita fashion. For her, she has like this boyish charm to her, despite being, you know, very feminine character, obviously. And I will admit, I love that you can switch back and forth between her forms, but the one that you use the most is the one where she has short hair. Charlotte! She's like, if there was a tier in between, she would be here. But I think I'm gonna probably put her here. I made her as a plunge DPS with Shanyun, and it just wasn't satisfying enough because I kept accidentally triggering her skill, and it wasn't fun. On the one hand, right before she came off, I was literally thinking like, why doesn't Genshin have a journalist character to report on happenings around the game? What a missed opportunity. Lo and behold, they introduced Charlotte in a minor event, and she was a journalist character, and she was annoying. I don't want to give too much hate to her character because it's like that is the character that she is. She is well written as the character that she is. She's just not that interesting to me. I'm redoing this whole section because I just talked about how I don't like her, but actually I think she's okay. I talked myself out of thinking she's bad. I was like, well, you know, she's not that bad. She's not that bad. Navia! I love everything about Navia. I don't know what that voice was. Navia's design is beautiful. She is probably the prettiest character in the game, in my opinion. Like, it's the combination of her eyes, her hair being so big, and I could take or leave the hat, but her outfit and the frills, and she's just gorgeous. She's so pretty, dude. The only thing I don't like about Navia is how many of her story beats involve her being betrayed by someone she was close to. It happens every fucking time, dude. After you've played through all of her quests and all her story content, she feels like a character who was designed to cry. And like, I don't know how I feel about that for a character. Like, her emotional story beats are great, don't get me wrong. It just gets a little repetitive when it seems like everyone in her life at some point tries to betray her. Like, give the girl a break, for crying out loud. Her playstyle is also super fun. The gameplay of having to basically pick up bullets as you're playing is just really fun. She has kind of the same issue that Shalonen has. Voice options you get while she's playing get very repetitive very quickly. Chevrus. She's okay. I know she basically saved Overloaded, but I can't get over how stupid she looks. Like, look at this like thumbnail. Girl looks jank as fuck. Like, what is even happening with the eye patch and the big hat and like the headphones, and just there's too many elements in her design that look really unappealing, and so I just can't with that. I do like her personality, even if she is basically kind of like Hazo, that like she's a cop. But I don't know, I feel like they do a little bit more with it and they make it a little more interesting. I just kind of wish she didn't look so like that. Chiori is okay. Fontaine is very big on the lows and highs, as you can see here. I don't even know what it is, really. I just didn't find her very appealing. I like her character, and her voice is just like, mommy? I don't know. She's just another we tried to fix Geo character and didn't really fix Geo character. Oh. It's time for father. Daddy's home. Daddy gets to sit up at the top. I'm very normal about Arlecchino, you guys. I'm very normal about her, but oh my god, the aura farming this lady does. The only complaint I have about Arlecchino is that the 2D animatic they made is so good that it made her story quest bad in comparison. They should have put that animatic in the game. Like, they don't have to put the files in there. They can make it like stream. It's so much worse listening to her just explain with like JPEGs how her backstory with Clervy versus watching that animatic, which made me cry and love her very much. Her gameplay is also super fun. The fact that you maintain the bond of life after leaving combat for fucking hours and that you can have it when you switch in and out is just great. Like, it makes her super fun and easy to play. She's actually my strongest DPS in the game, and I could still probably make her better because she's just rocking a gladiator set. But like, her design, the fucking heals, the relationship she has with the children in the House of the Hearth. I really hope we get to see more of her later on in the story. Oh boy, it's time for Clorox. I literally forgot her name. Chlorine. I dislike you, Clorox. I don't even know what it is. I think the thing that bothers me the most is that they go to the point of telling you that Chiori personally designed her outfits and they don't fit her properly. I'm all here for the titties bursting out of her shirt with like the button, but if you tell me that a character has her outfit specifically designed for her by someone who we are supposed to believe is an amazing seamstress, you can't have it both ways, dude. Her outfit either has to fit or it was made by like a Kohl's. Her face also just looks really jank. Like, look at her sprite, dude. Where her like eye is trying to escape from her body. And the concept of the champions is another aspect of Fontaine's like world building that feels like it was added very early on, was written too deeply into the story to be removed, but makes no sense with the final draft of Fontaine. Because what the fuck do you mean that people can fight to the death to go free no matter what they did as a crime? You could murder 50 people and if you can beat every single champion, you can just go free? What the fuck is that? I mean, obviously the game tries to set it up that the champions are so powerful that that doesn't happen, but like, realistically, it would make more sense for it to have happened, right? And also we even see in the game that this created the opportunity for people to be blackmailed into killing themselves in the middle of a battle. Why was Clarande just okay with, like, she said she kind of knew that Navia's dad wanted to kill himself to protect Navia. Why did she still go through with killing him? I don't know. I have a lot of feelings about the fact that those two get paired up and are now just like besties. I don't care what explanation they give. If someone had killed one of my parents, I don't think I would ever be able to be besties with them. And Sigeweener. I don't like Sigeween. I want to like Sigeween. Her design is really cute, but the way she's used in the story, dude. They introduced Sigeween as like a little sociopath. Like, dude, that's so creepy. I love that shit. And I know that other Melazines are like that. They're not quite human-like. The way they think and the way they act is a little bit different. They just forgot about that later on in Sigeween's writing, and she just became cute lolly who lives in jail for some reason. And to be quite frank, why did they make her a weird human fusion? I know they wrote it into her story and that like her crime was like crimes against nature for existing. Like, what the fuck is that? If she had just been a cute little Melazine, or like if they'd at least given her the skipping animation when she walks that other Melazines have, that alone would have saved her as a character in my mind. Instead, it's like they just wanted to have a Melazine for a character, but I don't know, we're afraid that the lolly collectors wouldn't be turned on by a snout. Emily. I like her as a character. I will say, Emily has had no presence in Fontaine. Like, there was kind of no reason for her to be a Fontaine character. I actually think because most of her story quest takes place in Sumeru, it would have actually been better if she had been a character released at the end of Sumeru and basically been Sumeru's Kazuha, right? She would have been the character introduced before the nation proper was introduced, would have given us a look at what that nation was going to be like. Instead, they did the opposite, where she has no presence in the story or the game and is just kind of a self-contained little character who has niche uses for where she's good. And it's a shame because honestly, her story quest was one of my favorites. It's a completely self-contained murder mystery, and it's really good. If you've never done her story quest, seriously, highly recommend. It is very good. And I know a lot of people are really salty that she wasn't the purple bitch, but like, I feel like purple bitch would have had the same slow, sleepy personality and way of talking that Layla does, and so I wouldn't have liked her as a character. And finally, we're on the last stretch. Starting off with Mualani. She's okay. I pulled Mualani on my main account, and she kind of sits with Sino in a character I kind of regretted pulling. She was really fun to play in the small sections of Natlan where you could actually use her skill for like some purpose. Oh god, dude, she feels so terrible to play outside of Natlan. I was like counting on Mawika being some kind of like a character that gives you a Night Soul bar outside of Natlan so that characters like Mualani feel better to play. They didn't go that route. I just couldn't find a character that did the right kinds and right amount of pyro damage to work with Mualani. I mean, heck, the main character I played her with was fucking Xinyan because that was the only character who had sufficient amounts of off-field pyro that didn't run out too fast or didn't kill the enemy too fast. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Xiangling. Kachina! I like Kachina a lot. She's really cute. Like, I just really love the storyline we get with Kachina, and while I definitely have a lot of issues with Natlan world building wise, Kachina fits in perfectly. And like, it's really cute how she like sees the Traveler as like her teacher, and I really wish they'd gone a little bit more into that and even just given us like a little side story of us training with her. I think it would have been really cute. Kanish. I'm sorry, Kanish fans. I just don't have it in me to like him. I think part of it is the voice actor switch. His performance as a voice actor is a little bit on the weaker side after they changed his voice, but also he didn't have much presence. Like, I feel like part of that's intentional. He's mostly just kind of like, he's just kind of there. Ahau had more of an impression on me than Kanish, and if Ahau was here, he would be a character I like as a character. I will also say, as far as playstyles go, he is the only character whose playstyle I can say I hate. Doing his trial is like a fucking challenge for me. Like, I could have probably figured it out, but I didn't want to figure it out because I didn't care about him. His aesthetic is very cool though, and I do like the way he looks, but that's about all he has going for him in my opinion. Shalodin! My wife! My feelings. Okay, first off, why does she got like 1,000-yard stare in her avatar? Jesus, girl, calm down. Shalonin is a character who at first I was just kind of like, yeah, I like Shalonin, she's cool. Then I pulled her and I immediately got her up to C3 and was like, okay, I like this character a lot. I'm going to use her on like every team I have. And I don't really know what happened between then and there. I think it's seeing her like arguing with Mawika about Mawika giving her too much fucking work that's just completely endeared me to Shalonin as a character. And also the tribal quest with Shalonin is, aside from the really, really bad voice acting on the part of the main villain, like what the fuck happened there, seriously, is probably one of my favorite story quests in all of Natlan. Also, she's like a cat and like a DJ, and she's got like her hair, she's got like that fancy braid, and also like, you know, I'm only human, girl pretty. Girl very, very pretty. And then we have Chaska. Get down there, girly. I hate Chaska's design. Something about her color palette, I can't really articulate it. It's just, it makes her eyes look way too striking. And I'm sure that's part of the intent, but because of the fact that her face is always covered by a shadow, you never see a shadow of her nose. And while Genshin characters not having noses is pretty common, I mean, look at fucking all of them. Jesus Christ, zoom out far enough and they're all monsters with no noses. The main reason I hate Chaska is because of how much they try to force you to care about Chaska in the Natlan Archon quest. They really ham-fisted in those sister issues really strongly to where I was just like, can we stop talking about Chaska's backstory and get back to the actual story? And then there's also this one sequence where it's like, there's Koichi. I'll wait for her to get the signal. Press A to give the signal. There's Chaska's signal. Let me move into the next formation. Press A to move to the next formation. Dude, it lasts like 5 minutes. It was the worst part of the Natlan Archon quest to me. Auroron! Give me this hot topic fucker up here. He becomes on the third row of I love everything about him. Although, I will say, I love everything about him except one thing. Back before Natlan came out, there was a debate in the Genshin lore communities. Do zippers exist in Teyvat? And then there's like that one birthday art of Zhongli with like the zipper wallet, and everyone was like, oh! oh, of course the god of Geo has zippers. And it was like a running joke. It was like, there are no characters whose pants, when you look at them, look like they would have zippers. But then they kind of forgot about that design element with Natlan. And so all of the characters have like obviously jeans or zippers in their designs. I mean, obviously Mawika's got her whole body zipper. And like, I guess it's fine, but it just that's the reason why Natlan's designs stick out to me so much and why they look modern, because I can tell everything is put together with zippers. And unfortunately, Auroron is kind of hit the worst by that. He also just looks like a Hot Topic emo kid, but his personality kind of saves him. It's the gap moe, dude. It's where his personality is so far removed from what he looks like that it ends up being cuter as a result. And Auroron is fucking hilarious, dude. This is a character who was just a goofy goober out the gate after like being built up to be like, oh no, he's betraying us for the Fatui, and then he just comes out and he's like, hi Gramps, want some radishes? Mawika. This is the hot take. I feel like I have a lot of hot takes. Are they actually hot takes? We just don't know. But Mawika is okay. I think it's been talked to death of whether or not Mawika's design looks Genshin enough. And I think I've settled on the fact that, you know, aside from the fact that she looks like a biker chick in Teyvat, it's not very Genshin. Like, she does still look like a Teyvat version of a biker chick, but why does the Pyro Archon look like a biker chick? The only reason that I don't think most people realize is that the reason they made Mawika and her design and everything center around a motorcycle is for a pun, because in Japanese, she's called Engine. I don't know if that's obvious, but like, look, they're otaku weebs over in fucking Hoyoverse. Otaku save the world used to be their slogan. I don't care if they're all speaking Chinese. I'm pretty sure at least one of them had to have known that that's a really bad pun, and they were going to use that pun. As for Mawika personality-wise, I feel like I could make a whole ass essay on why I'm not crazy about Mawika as a character. Separate from everything else, like remove her from her story and just put her down as a character who exists, and I actually do like her a lot. But as the Pyro Archon of her nation and her development compared to some of the other Archons, it just feels like her story isn't finished. Maybe I'll have a different impression of her when we see a little bit more of it, but I just don't really like that most of her actual, like, you know, the struggles, her struggles and the things she's gone through, all of them happened off screen in like a teaser you could have missed because it's only on YouTube. And like some of the other Archons have things like that. Like you could argue Venti is kind of like that, but like, no, we get to talk to Venti about his best friend that we met, and we get to see him struggling with Dvalin, and dude gets drop kicked by Signora. Zhongli, we get to see him like struggling about his wanting to retire. The moment when he talks about when he have I finished my duties? Like, dude, that's like, it's small, it's subtle, but it's something. Mawika makes a plan and then carries out her plan. And then the only thing that would have given her something to struggle about was potentially having to sacrifice herself, but then someone else comes up and is like, hey, I'll do it for you. Like, I know there's more nuance than what I'm giving there, and I'm sure someone will want to write me an essay in the comments explaining why I'm wrong in some way. But I just feel like because all of her, like, struggles were off screen, and that unless you are like really reading deeply into the lore of the game to try to figure out how she struggled in the past, it just kind of feels like she didn't struggle at all. It makes her feel like, ironically, of all of the Archons who are gods, she is the only one who's human, and she's the least relatable of them all. And that just, it feels like it might be intentional. That like, yeah, who's the perfect person to lead humanity? Another human. If that is the intent, then it's very good. But I don't think that's the intent, unless they expand upon that a little bit more, but we'll have to see how the story goes. Sitlali! Come here, girly. Get up there. I really like Sitlali. I will say though, I liked Sitlali much more when she was threatening to break Auroron's legs. I still like her now, and I actually don't have an issue with her basically having, you know, some strong feelings for the Traveler. It's like, that's fine. That doesn't actually bother me that much. It does bother me that her personality shifted a little bit after that, in that because she's now self-conscious about how the Traveler sees her, she's not as open to abject violence. Like, they still put it in there occasionally, and that's fine, but like, I really miss the Sitlali who said that she was going to break Auroron's legs because it was extremely funny. Obviously, you could say that that's character development, but I don't think it's meant to be written as character development. I think they just toned her character down a little bit. Although I might be biased because I use her in my Kokomi teams. Anyone who can be on a team with Kokomi is immediately a good character. Veressa! Yeah, I wanted to like Veressa because her design is cute, but she's kind of like, she's nothing burger, you know? She's just kind of there. And I will admit, her design bugs me only because she lives in the arguably the hottest part of Natlan, and she's wearing sweaters. Why is my girl wearing sweaters when it's probably like 140 degrees outside? If they were made of any other fabric and not fucking knit sweaters, I think I'd like her a little bit more, but it's just that aspect of her design, like, it bothers me on like a conceptual level. I can't explain it. Her personality reminds me of one of my best friends growing up, so like, I actually kind of love her in that sense, but I don't know, she just doesn't leave an impact beyond that, and it's kind of a shame. I think I would have liked her more otherwise. Ian-san. Yeah, I don't like playing Ian-san. I'm kind of sad about it. On one level, she is a buffer on par with Bennett. She gives a lot of attack, but to very niche characters who are able to move enough to actually use her buff. And while there are certainly characters who can move while they're attacking, the amount of movement you need to keep that thing up is kind of obnoxious. But she also suffers from a very specific design flaw with certain Natlan characters, and that's the order in which you use her skill and burst. For Ian-san, you want to use her burst, then her skill. But for Pyro Traveler, you want to use his skill, then his burst. And there's a lot of other characters that are like that with their Natlan mechanic, where you want to use one or then the other because it gives them a boost of night cell points, and it's not consistent. And so trying to remember that when your muscle memory is more custom to the character you're more used to playing is so frustrating, dude. Aoife! Yeah, this one shouldn't be surprising. Aoife is basically what if Mizuki was good. Like, I know he has some like aspects of Electrocharge in his kit that make him work with Auroron, but like, he's a 4-star swirl DPS. There's only so much you can really do with that. And I don't know, I was really happy to get him, and I love his design and how silly it is. And his personality is fantastic. Him and Auroron are fucking hilarious together. I don't know, I got him and I never even really built him because it just didn't find his playstyle fun, which is a shame because he fucking shoots with guns. And I have been wanting since Fontaine to have a Catalyst character who just shoots guns, because that's what a Catalyst would be. But then they gave it to an Animo character, and it's just a shame. All right, we're in the final tier, of which only 2 of these characters are currently released, but I can give you my basic thoughts. Skirk is okay. I will admit I have not done Squirk. I have not done Skirk's story quest yet because I was waiting for it to be fully voiced. I'm sure my feelings on her will change drastically after I do her story quest, but as it is now, and the fact that whenever I got the chance to play her, I just wasn't really crazy about her playstyle, even if she does look fucking amazing while she's fighting. She's just kind of like, And Anifa. I like Anifa. She's cute. She's cute. I like that she doesn't have like an overly robotic voice, which is ironically one of my favorite things about her, that they actually let her sound a little human. She's basically what if you turned a Gardamek into a waifu. But the fact that she's like the caretaker for a little girl, it's very sweet. And now these last 3 are just going to be my first impressions. Llama will be okay. I don't really like her design that much, and is she like a Dendro DPS? I don't know. I know where I'm going to put this character. I think I'm gonna really like Aino, actually. Like, she's off-field Hydra Applicator, which gives a lot of uses for characters in different teams, and her personality seems really cute. Like, her relationship with Anefa sounds really, really adorable, and like, I'm all about found family as like a concept in fiction, so I think I'm going to be here for that. The only thing is that goddamn, did they not have a single other voice clip to play during Anefa's quest? Like,
Remember, you have to come home!
dude, they played that like 50 times. And Flynn's. Okay. Like, his design is really cool, but as you've probably figured out from the rest of this tier list, I have been burned in the past by Electro DPS characters, so I will not be pulling for him. Tiny eyes. His eyes are so small. So yeah, this is my tier list. As you can see, I have some pretty specific biases. I like characters who are cute. Probably describes like everything up until like here. there is a pretty even split between characters who I like more for their personality role in the story and characters who I like more for how I play them. Like, obviously, how I play them is why I prefer Kokomi, but role in the story is why I prefer Linny. And I would say both of them are pretty well tied, although in my heartest of hearts, I would actually say I probably like Linny as a character more than I like Kokomi. I know. It's a cardinal sin to admit that as a self-proclaimed Kokomi main. I also think it's worth pointing out that with the exception of maybe Wriothesley, most of the characters in I Love to Play Them Only are characters I don't play that much. I just like their playstyle, and in fact, I'm kind of regretting putting him as low as I did. Like, I don't dislike Wriothesley. So I think, yeah, I'm gonna put that fucker back up here. Get up there. Likewise, characters who are okay, I feel like my impression of a lot of these characters would probably change based on the time of day, or like whatever quest they may be in at the moment. Like, I would argue Hu Tao would have been a lot higher if I had made this tier list during the Last Lantern Rite, because I really, really liked her so much that I paid fucking $30 for her skin just so I could see her belly button. And then of course we had poor characters stuck at the bottom of the tier list. I still think some of them don't quite deserve the amount of hate that they got. Like, I could probably move Mika and Chaska out of the hate tier, but Dory is forever here. Kuching is here by circumstances, and I'm just not crazy about Clorox. The characters I just don't even like playing as them. Again, if they were in a quest or a different way, I'd probably feel differently. Like, whenever Eula is on screen with Amber and they're fucking each other with their eyes, I think that that's fantastic, and I love that. I want to see more of that. If any of you get weird at me for that in the comments,
Vengeance will be mine.